anarchy in the streets right now.
Has been injured, there's rioting, you've started throwing rocks at police.
Says an unjust law is no law at all.
Historic St. John's Church set under fire.
God.
Is this a war going on here?
We're really talking about our future. What type of country do we want to be?
Hello, welcome to Holding the Line, America's fight for religious freedom. We've done a number of interviews with interesting people exploring this topic. And this one has to deal with nativity scenes. You know, they've been a part of our Christmas landscape for years. People love to decorate their homes, and sometimes a little bit too much, you see the Griswolds. But even businesses like to get into the Christmas spirit. Also, our government officials want to join in the fun and decorate public buildings. But they quickly find out that anything related to the Christ in Christmas is off limits. Nativity scenes are a huge target for litigation and threats by atheist groups. And one such fight occurred in St. Bernard, Ohio. And we had a chance to talk to the mayor of that town, John Estep.
My name's John Estep. I live and grew up here in St. Bernard, Ohio. This is my second term as mayor. I was mayor for 4 years, 8 years ago, sat out for 8 years, and I was reelected about a year and a half ago. So I'm almost into my second year for my second term of a 4-year term. Going back many, many years ago, this was basically an old German town. Procter & Gamble has its roots here. Many of the people grew up here. The goal was to get a job at Procter & Gamble, retire after 30 years with $1 million and sit on your porch. P&G's left town, and that's created some transition with somewhat of a new community. It's a lot more diverse. It's not the typical old, all-white Catholic community. So there's people from different faiths, different races, religions, as I said.
You know, driving around, we could tell this is a simple working class town. You know, I was born in Ohio, but I'd never heard of St. Bernard. But it sits just north outside of Cincinnati, a town we all know well. St. Bernard hit the news when a group decided to tell it to take down their nativity. And frankly, that didn't go well.
The nativity scene has been there longer than I've been here on earth, longer than I can remember. And it's a real holiday that brings our community together. We have light the Christmas tree. We have a carriage ride. This year we had a live animals. We had donkeys and a camel, a petting zoo for the kids to come. We had about 400 treat bags that we give out. And we have Santa Claus come in, and the kids take pictures with Santa Claus. They take their rides in the carriage. And then naturally we have our nativity scene, and our live animals were right next to it. So it's a tradition that's gone on for over 100 years, I assume. But we received a letter from a certain group that says you're in violation of separation of church and state, and we feel that the nativity scene, since you are having Jesus in there, it's on state property. It should be taken down immediately, or we may see you in court. Well, if anything ever rallied this community together, when that letter got out, I got phone calls, people came to my house, emails, Mayor John, Mayor Estep, Mr. E, you cannot take that nativity scene down. And I got the message very loud and clear that we were going to stand our ground. And I wrote back and I told them we do not have any plans on taking this nativity scene down for whatever reason. And then some people asked where are they from, and I think one of the letters we received were from Wisconsin.
Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Is that the Freedom from Religion? Yeah. So we told them that we don't designate Christmas as a religious holiday. We're not asking anyone to celebrate a specific religion, or we're not focused on the baby Jesus. And if we showed them the nativity scene, there's also a St. Bernard dog in there. There's a Santa Claus. There's a wise man, there's a donkey. We wanted to show that even the nativity scene was somewhat diverse, and it wasn't focused on any religion aspect at all.
You got to love this town. A big-time atheist group sends them a letter threatening them to take the Nativity down, and the town steps up, encouraging the mayor to get in there and say, no way. You know, I was curious to ask the mayor, how did the Freedom from Religion Foundation find out about the nativity scene in a town of 4,000 people?
We were told that they have people who, I guess, for not a better word I can think of, spy. They go around and they look for things like this. They have spies in communities, and they look for things like this, and they spotted St. Bernard, and they report back, and they sent us a letter thinking we would cave in. We told them St. Bernard's a strong town, and this brought everybody together. In a lot of ways, it was really good for the community. We saw people who disagreed on one topic or another, but on this one, they all stood strong, and I wasn't about to let them down. And when we stayed the course and did not take it down, received a lot of compliments from a lot of people who I'd never received a compliment before from, but they said, you had the guts and you stood in there. Thanks for sticking up for our community. And it was the right thing to do. I think that people at this day and age are tired of someone who disagrees with them and says, you have to do it my way. They were saying, we've done it this way for 100 years, and you've taken other things away, but you're not going to take our nativity scene away. This is something we cherish, we celebrate. It brings the community together in December, and we're not going to let a group, especially from Wisconsin, some people says, send them a letter, John, and tell them to stay up in Wisconsin, eat your cheese, and we're going to stay here and celebrate Christmas. Sorry if that sounds a little bombastic, but that's what people were saying.
You know, this is what America is all about. And I'm sure it's what makes the mayor's life easier. Gaining support for issues like religious freedom, wow. You know, this story also got picked up nationally. So he also heard from people all around the country.
The responses that we got from people, not just locally, but somewhere outside the parameters of the city, not the village, but the city of Cincinnati, I'd say the majority of those responses were in our favor. They said, we commend you for standing your ground. We appreciate somebody who stands up for what they believe in, and there's always a group out there trying to look for the negativity in life. And I guess this is a perfect example of that. We even had a couple people that says, John, I'll buy that parcel of land out there. What is it, a quarter of an acre? And I own that, and you can put that nativity scene on that every year. So there's some smart thinkers, and some people are going to give some good money for that. And they said, put the money in your general fund. We'll buy that little yard there, and you can put whatever you want on it. Sometimes I feel like there's a group that tries to get together, and they want to they want to intimidate you. And they want to run you out, and we're going to show you that we're tougher, stronger, bigger. And if we tell you to take something down, you're going to take it down because this is who we are. And St. Bernard's not one that was going to back down. And I'm proud of the people who live here, and I'm proud of the way it brought them together, and they stood up for something that everybody believed in. And it sends a message to those quote-unquote spies out there. Maybe you should find something better to do.
Definitely. Under Mayor Estep's leadership, St. Bernard was not going to back down. But many towns do. I asked the mayor why that was.
I think a lot of it is because litigation today. Everybody hears the word lawsuit and they say they're going to get a lawyer and we're going to lose in court. It's going to cost us all this money, so we better cave in. And I disagree with that. You know, you can sue anybody over anything. Anybody can get a lawyer. But just because you hear lawyer, litigation, I'm going to take you to court, doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you think you're doing what's right, don't back down. The fervor that it created in this small community, I was amazed. I thought, they won't care about this. We'll just tell them we're going to keep it up. But I waited to give my answer because I wanted some feedback from the people. It's important to hear and have your finger on the pulse of the community. And like I said earlier, I got the message loud and clear. They didn't want that nativity scene to go anywhere. And I said, you got my back, I got yours, and we're going to stand strong. And I, you know, putting everything else aside, personally, I felt it was the right thing to do, not a political move to get votes or keep people happy. I felt deep down that that's the right thing to do.
You know, John has moved on as mayor, but we're hoping the community has stayed strong and keeps up the fight for religious freedom. Remember that town and stop in sometime and have lunch. The fight continues, and you need to be informed. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like this video to see more content coming your way. You can also read my book, Holding the Line, America's Fight for Religious Freedom. It's available on Amazon. Thanks for joining me, and keep holding the line.